This is Meshcast. We take one video a day and we find out what's actually true. Today's subject, the Ecom King. 23 minutes. Title, I studied AI digital products for 1,000 hours. Here's what makes $10,000 a month. Here's what we found. The tactics in this video are mostly fine. Genuinely. The marketing advice is standard, it's sound, and a beginner could use it. The numbers are a different story. Every dollar figure that appears on screen in this video is an estimate produced by a third-party tool, presented to you as if it were a measurement. And the one number that decides whether this business model works at all is never mentioned. Not once. Not in 23 minutes. Let's go through it. Start with the title, because the title is a promise. Here's what makes $10,000 a month. So we watched all 23 minutes looking for the $10,000 a month. Here is what is in the video. 5 patterns, a research prompt, a spreadsheet the AI built, 9 product images, and a link to a video about building a store. Here is what is not in the video. A single store making $10,000 a month. No profit and loss statement. No screenshot of his own dashboard. No student result. No case study with a name attached. The number in the title never appears in the body of the video. Verdict. Unsupported by the video's own content. That's not a technicality. When a headline states a specific income figure, the burden is to show one. He doesn't. And the 1,000 hours? Unverifiable by design. 1,000 hours is 125 full working days. There's no log, no list, no method, no dates. You are asked to take it on faith, and faith is doing a lot of work in this genre. Now the money. At 50 seconds, he says, quote, I paid to get access to this data, which shows me how much these listings are making on Etsy, as Etsy doesn't disclose it. That premise is true. Etsy does not publish per listing sales figures. Nobody outside Etsy can see them. But read that sentence again, because he just told you the answer. If Etsy doesn't disclose it, then the tool isn't showing him what listings are making. It's showing him a guess. Tools like EverBee extrapolate revenue from public signals, reviews, favorites, listing age, and run them through their own model. EverBee's own published figure is around 80% average accuracy. That's a vendor claim, not an independent audit. Independent testing and seller reports put it in the 80 to 90% range for high-volume listings, and off by as much as 50% in either direction on low-volume ones. So when the screen says 22,000, 16,000, 15,000, those aren't earnings. They're modeled estimates. When he says a shop has generated $84,000, that's an estimate too. And it's gross revenue before Etsy's fees, before ads, before tax. Verdict, unverified and framed as fact. Here's the bigger problem, and it's the one that runs through this entire genre. He shows you listings doing $22,000 a month. Those listings exist. We're not saying he made them up. We're saying he's showing you the winners and calling it the market. Look at the actual distribution of Etsy sellers. Roughly 40% of shops are dormant, doing nothing. Around 30% make between $1 and $100 a month. Only about 1% clear $10,000 a month. The median matters more than the average here. Across Etsy, average seller revenue is inflated by a handful of enormous shops. The median is a small fraction of it. For digital product shops specifically, industry estimates put average yearly profit somewhere around $5,000 to $6,000 per year, not per month. So when you watch a 23-minute video composed entirely of $84,000 listings, you are looking at the top of a very tall pyramid with the base cropped out of frame. That's survivorship bias, and it is the single most effective sales tool in the make money online business. Verdict on the video's framing. Technically accurate examples, systematically misleading picture. Now, the part that made us sit up. Around 9 minutes 30, he does something he calls proof checking. The AI agent gives him a list of listings. He runs a follow-up prompt to, quote, verify them. Then he says, and I'm quoting, here's the crazy part. I can actually proof check how good the super agent was at that task because I'm using EverBee as a Chrome extension. I can actually see what the sales data was, so I can even verify it with actual data. Actual data. Except EverBee is not actual data. EverBee is an estimate generated by extrapolation by a company that itself says the number is roughly 80% accurate. So the chain is, an AI agent scrapes public listing pages and guesses. Then a browser extension looks at the same public listing pages and guesses. The two guesses agree, and that agreement is presented to you as verification. That's not verification. That's two people reading the same rumor and calling it a second source. Neither one has seen Etsy's books because nobody outside Etsy can. Verdict: misleading. And it's the most consequential moment in the video, because it's the moment the audience is taught that a number has been confirmed when it hasn't. Now let's be fair, because a fact check that only finds fault isn't a fact check. Plenty in this video checks out. The tool claims are accurate. GenSpark's Plus plan is $24.99 a month with 10,000 credits. He says 24, that's a rounding down, not a lie. GenSpark did announce AI Workspace 6.0 in July 2026. GPT Image 2 is real. OpenAI released it on April 21, 2026. The Shopify 90 days for $3 offer is the current standard promotion, all verified. And the marketing advice is genuinely sound. Sell to one specific person at one specific moment, not to students or moms. Send paid traffic to one product page, not a homepage. Show a real screenshot instead of promising to change someone's life. Validate demand before you build. None of that is novel. It's textbook direct response. It's been true for 50 years. But it's correct, and a beginner following it will do better than a beginner not following it. The single best idea in the video is filtering a competitor's reviews to lowest rated and building against the complaints. That's real research. It's checkable, it's free, and it does not require a subscription to anything. Credit where it's due. Which brings us to the hole in the middle of this video. At 7 minutes 45, he tells you to ignore Etsy's pricing data, because you're not going to sell on Etsy. Sell privately on Shopify or Hostinger. If they're selling for $8 to $16, he says, we could easily sell ours for $30 to $80. Stop there. That advice quietly changes the entire business. On Etsy, the traffic is free. Buyers are already there, already searching, already holding a credit card. You compete on price because you're standing in a marketplace. The moment you move to your own store, you have no traffic. Zero. Every single visitor has to be bought. And his own model says so. Pattern 3 is the add, to page, to buy funnel. And at pattern 1, he tells you to run ads before you even build the product. So this is a paid advertising business. And in 23 minutes about a paid advertising business, here is the total amount of arithmetic on what a customer costs to acquire. Nothing. No cost per click. No conversion rate, no customer acquisition cost, no break even, no ad budget. Selling at $40 means nothing if it costs you $55 to find the buyer. That is the number that decides whether anyone watching makes $1 or loses their savings, and it is absent. He does say the paid ads breakdown is in the bonus Miro board, which you unlock by getting the video to 500 likes. The number that determines whether the model works is behind the engagement wall. Verdict: absent and essential. One last thing, the incentives. This video recommends GenSpark repeatedly by name for 23 minutes. The description carries affiliate links for GenSpark, Shopify, Winning Hunter, Omnisend, a domain registrar, and a mentoring application. EverBee, the tool used to verify the numbers, is also a paid tool. He does disclose. The description says some links are affiliate links. That's more than many do, and it counts. But the FTC's endorsement guides are specific. If the endorsement is made in a video, the disclosure needs to be in the video, audible and on screen, not only in the text description because viewers can watch without ever reading it. A disclosure buried below the fold, under a More button, is not considered clear and conspicuous. On this tape, we counted 0 spoken disclosures and 0 on-screen disclosures. Verdict: falls short of FTC guidance. So here's the final scoreboard. 6 claims verified or sound. 1 substantially true. 3 unverified estimates dressed as data. 4 misleading or unsupported. 1 critical omission. 1 unverifiable. The honest summary is this. The method is fine, the numbers are not evidence, and the cost side is missing. If you follow the advice in this video, you may well build a decent digital product. Whether you sell it profitably depends entirely on a figure the video never gives you. Check the numbers. Always check the numbers. This has been Meshcast.